You said I'm allowed to do my intro.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a dictator.
Hello and welcome to episode 37 of I'm Fine. It's a chat between myself, Damo, and a man so edgy you can't stand near cliffs as they get jealous. Mark. It's a chat around the subjects of health, wealth, well-being, fitness, sport, and all the intricate threads of life's rich tapestry. We're all work in progress, and this podcast is no exception. In short, it's a poke at our perfectly imperfect lives. And if we can make just one person feel like they're not alone in all this madness, then our work here is done. Now, if you haven't subscribed to us in your favourite podcasting app, then please do. And if you have a spare moment, then please do leave us a 5-star rating and or review on Apple Podcasts. Just one rating or review is enough to give two fragile introverts something to cling on to through these dark nights. All we want for our egos is to feel the warm embrace of your gratitude.
The stars in the sky should be Apple Podcasts.
Yeah. It's really quite pathetic, isn't it? That we want such things.
And we're persistent as well, aren't we?
Yeah, got to be.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Wear buggers down.
My coach says you've got to say things 64 times for them to sink in.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're halfway there.
Who said that?
What?
Your real coach.
Yeah.
The one you listen to.
Yeah, she's got a whistle. The proper coaches have whistles, don't they?
Yeah. Black and white
Clipboards.
striped top.
Yeah. So
Like American what? What's
yeah,
that? Is it
American
like baseball?
NFL umpires.
NFL, yeah.
Happy New Year, Mark.
Happy New Year.
It's a new day. It's a new day.
It's a new
in
dawn.
a new year. We were just saying, weren't we? And I saw a tweet saying, 3 more days to the end of the year. I cannot wait. It's the moment I've been looking forward to all year. You're like, what are you on about? It's going to be the same fucking shit next week.
Yeah. Or as people are saying now.
What?
Did you see it on? Don't get me started. On Twitter, the number 7 was trending,
Right.
and when you looked into it, it was 7 sleeps till Christmas, and people are going sleeps now. It's 7 days. What's the sleeps?
Till Santa comes.
Yeah,
Was that new to you, the 7 sleeps? Or the counting the sleeps?
that so many.
It's American.
There's so many grown people wanted to put it on social media that
Oh, yeah.
that was a thing.
People are doing, 2 more sleeps of this terrible year or whatever. It's like, it's
it ain't going to change.
No, pretty much Monday's going to be pretty poo as well, isn't it?
And Tuesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. Oh,
I'm dreading Thursday.
don't get me started on Friday. There's the weekend. Oh my
I hate
God.
the weekend.
Now.
Then there's the next week. Monday.
Right, we're going to pull you up. We're going to pull you up. All right. Foffbach.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't. And shoulders need to be down.
Down. Back and down. Okay, that feels nice, actually. It's like a nice stretch. Now, I've absolutely no idea what's going to go on in this podcast, and it's put the willies right up me.
Right.
I've made some notes, but I always make notes, but I listen back to podcasts, and that's all I've got. But other than that, we're untethered from our moorings.
Yeah. I'm going
Starting
to change.
to drift.
I'm going to change one thing that I was going to do because I was going to be very.
Oh, so we're going to have a running order, are we?
No, there's no running order. What I was going to do, and like I said, I've just been training Wayne, and I said this is what I'm going to do for the podcast. Give him a sort of a bit of clickbait because the numbers went a wee bit down at Christmas.
We don't have to worry about him listening there, do we?
No,
he's the first in the queue.
No, he said he's got 30 minutes of death left.
At least it's not 30 minutes of life left. I mean,
So what I was going to do today, and this would have really, I think this would have taken you to the edge, using your earlier analogy.
Yeah.
Was I was going to, when you set up all the equipment, was going to ask you to leave the room,
right,
and then come back in.
Right.
You know the time when I went to the toilet that time.
Yeah.
That was quite.
One time. Yeah. I went to toilet. Yeah.
Well, that was quite humorous, wasn't it? One of the earlier pods, I disappeared to. Look at the sign.
Yeah, and you couldn't find where the light switch was.
No, because you told me, shall I go and do the light switch? And I went, no, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I've got one at my house. Yeah. One of those your usual comments.
Yeah. So what I was going to say to Wayne was I was going to ask you to leave the room.
Right.
You were then going to walk in the door. And I was going to go,
naked?
What fucking time do you call this? And to get into our...
Oh, to kind of...
You coming to training.
Okay.
Because this needs to be flagged up. Your timekeeping has become tardy.
What the fuck is this?
Well, it has. You used to be one of my 1 minute beforehand.
Yeah, and then I slipped into 1 minute past.
Yeah, and you sit in your motor with the engine running.
No, I don't.
With the heater on? You do.
Yeah, I
can
do.
hear the little rumble of your double exhausts.
Yeah, you can hear us on the podcast as well, probably, can't you? Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe...
All right, is this your way of having a pop at me for my tardiness?
No, but that was the joke when you came back into your own fruit room.
To get into character, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
So I'd be sat in a corner.
I can do that now if you want.
I think the moment
you
passed.
ever go, what time is this? I'm normally apologising for my lateness, and you're like, oh, what?
You're shuffling on your knees.
Who are you? What? Yeah.
The reason I suggested this, and I know you still got like some concern, is that the sort of working title was Garage Philosophy. And I've said it to a couple of clients that this is what we're going to do today. And it's to do what we do at training. I'm glad
you've had a discussion with everybody else apart from me. I mean, I'm delighted with that.
But the two clients were clients who fall under the same verbose introduction. So when they walk through the door, they don't know what
they get a mouthful as well, do they?
They get a mouthful.
Unbelievable.
So
like some kind of boot camp you're running, isn't it?
It's more like a sort of...
more like, shut up!
It's more like a sort of Pol Pot regime, isn't it? That I'm out in the woods.
I don't know why I come. It's pretty miserable. Actually, it was miserable this week. It was hard on Thursday. We'll come to that in a minute.
Well, you were bloody Peter Powter, weren't you?
Yeah. Is that a thing? Is that a character?
It's a character, yeah.
From what?
It's the new guy in research.
Oh, right.
Just a coincidence, that's his name.
Colin's replacement?
Yeah. Okay. I also referred to Colin by the wrong pronoun, didn't I, last?
That's what he was.
I said he's.
He is he this week.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's got it on his Twitter.
Okay.
His.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're telling everyone, apart from me, actually, what we're going to be doing in this pub.
I just wanted this to be impromptu and just to almost be a recreation of what happens when you come to training, when I can't be asked to train you and you're quite happy to chat rather than lift. Yeah. Those weights are so cold at the moment. It was -1 today in the garage.
And that's with the heater fingers.
I did say to someone today who came in and who has a very, very good eye for detail and an immaculate house and great interior design. And he said something like, I'd have another heater.
This place is a shithole.
Yeah. Oh. He said something about PT and I said, if you were a PT, your garage wouldn't look like this. And he looked around with like disgust. It is.
That's right.
It's like a spare room, isn't it? Really. It takes spit and sawdust even down a level. It could be nicer.
That's all right.
That's my office.
Don't judge.
No. So it was just about what happens when you turn up.
I can put my shorts on if you want and, get into character properly.
You're a bit Doctor Who-esque.
I walk up with my scarf. Yeah. I actually started training in it. Then I get halfway through and take it off, didn't I?
Do you ever do that in bed? Get in bed with everything on and a coat?
Every night.
You don't, do you?
Of course I don't.
Never?
Well, get into bed. I'm not fucking...
Do you never get into bed with like...
I've got central heating. It's a modern house.
But still with all your clothes on and then take them off under the covers?
No. What? Why? Because I'm embarrassed? What? What do you mean? Is this another insight into you and your your night regime?
I'm just thinking it might happen to you on some occasions, but if it doesn't...
So you get in because you're cold and then take stuff off as you get warmer?
Not particularly because I'm cold, just I'm comfy in what I'm wearing.
Okay. It is weird, isn't it, how we kind of get undressed and dressed for bed, isn't it? Do you think about that? I think about it probably too much.
Go on then, run through.
Was this thing where some people have showers before they go to bed because they don't want to get the bed dirty? There's someone I know who probably listens to this that does that. And they think it's pretty gross that I don't have a shower before I get into bed and think it's weird getting all sweaty in bed and then getting up and having a shower. So all the grime and dirt from the day is applied to your bed sheets, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get that.
You just think, why don't you just sleep in the same things? If you put your pajamas on, you're just putting stuff on that you've worn numerous times, but you get up every day and wear fresh clothes. I haven't really thought this through too much because I'm clearly not prepared for anything.
No, I'm with you.
There's this kind of, I don't know what the kind of order is. I think the order would probably to get into fresh everything every single night, wouldn't it? Fresh clothes, fresh pajamas, nightwear, whatever you want to do. Fresh sheets.
The idea of wearing anything in bed, although I've just said I'd go in with a coat.
I'm getting uncomfortable.
No, but I would never, ever wear anything in bed. Like once that's taken off, pajamas would just like freak me out. It's like the socks and earplugs.
It's like clothes.
No, seriously, the idea of wearing any material.
They're just clothes.
No, you're in a bed,
So, right, are you a naked sleeper?
Yeah.
It's too much. We've gone too far already.
But...
Hold on, you get into bed with your coat on and then...
And headphones and hat.
But basically, as you're dressed now, you take your shoes off. I mean, I just want to get an idea of standards.
Generally.
Okay, right. It's been known, right, to keep them on. Right, okay.
Maybe flip-flops, but yeah.
You're an animal.
Walking
You're an
boots.
animal. You know
So then
that.
get undressed under the covers, then maybe walk and
then by the
brush your
morning,
teeth
you
or
wake up
something.
and you absolutely start bothered naked, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But-
But you might have left a sock on or something. I mean,
no.
just
Because of the weighted blanket, it's often difficult to get all the clothes out of the bed.
oh no, Mark.
So you might have bits
Just
of-
all your clothes are in the bed.
Just debris.
Unbelievable.
But
This is a real insight.
one thing that I'm genuinely scared of, and I know you're going to go, oh, you're just trying to be edgy on the introduction.
Yeah.
And I don't think you remembered that did I tell you that the most successful project I ever ran was called the Edge Project?
I think you did.
I'd said, but I don't think you've remembered it. It was the thing with the little yellow triangles on the envelopes.
Yes, you did tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I actually edited it out of the podcast when we were talking about the envelopes.
Did you?
I think you did. I think we did record it.
I love what you edit out.
It was that miserable. I know.
Yeah. Mark talking about brown envelopes.
God, it's gone.
This will get the numbers up. So one of the things I do have a fear
I
of.
remember we did leave it in. It was for the prisoners.
Yeah.
Opening good
Opening
news.
mail. Yeah. And then, of course, you
Encouraging
came up
them.
with your smart ass. Well, I've just done some research and there is one thing that comes in a brown envelope that is good news.
I didn't speak like that.
It's a tax rebate. You do. You're like bloody Prince.
This is warming
Harry.
up nicely now. You're getting all.
Prince Harry. Getting all spiteful.
You leave him alone.
So
He's a ginger. That's what I've worked out. Why I'm so protective of him. He's a brother from another mother.
You listened to their thingy, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Did you listen to the bit where their child speaks?
No, I couldn't get that far because it sounded
Really?
great. And then they go, well, we've done some audio diaries. The first one was Elton John. I'm going, I'm not this is not relatable.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
What, the man in the street?
He's a 70-year-old billionaire, right? And then there's a couple of other people. I was like, I just want to listen to them. I don't want to listen to.
One of your ones was there, Breenie Botterface, the one that you listened to.
Yeah. Brené Brown?
Yeah, she wasn't big until you mentioned her.
No, I know, right? Everyone's talking about her. Everyone's listening to her.
That's the word on the street.
Well, there we go. I'm trying to bookmark what you were saying before. But
It's all right, I've got it in my head. I won't forget it.
okay. Yeah, I like their tone, like we said. I like what they were saying. I like the kind of intro, the way they did it. And they just went in. I wanted to, it's their first one. I just checked out. I'm like that with books. If I don't like the first 3 or 4 pages, I'm gone.
Yeah. But you like
Barack's got that to come. It's a big old book to ditch if I don't like the first 4 pages.
that. Talking of which was and I've still got the bookmark, but talking of which, that fact I gave you whenever I gave it to you about the new book that I bought about the myths and magic of coincidences and flukes,
Yes.
and said, I hate introduction, and it's preface, isn't it? It's not preface, preface. It's just like, no, get to the story.
That was right, because you said you were skipping through the preface. You'd normally rattle through that, wouldn't you?
Or just ignore it.
But you read it, you thought, no, I'm going to...
The author's made the point.
Yeah.
So I'll read one page.
And you came across the Infinite Monkeys, didn't you?
And the book is about coincidences.
And you were like, oh my God,
That's a coincidence.
this book's amazing.
And I looked down
It's a sign.
and there was a troop of chimps.
It was there.
Yeah, they were on Apple Macs though, not typewriters, so it didn't even really...
No ink problems then.
So the problem I have with wearing stuff in bed, and you're going to look at me and go, you're just saying this to be...
I thought you'd said it. All right. I
No,
haven't
I
out for the
haven't.
bit. Okay.
It's socks and earplugs, jewellery.
You mean at the same time? It
Yes.
says jewellery. I thought you said jewellery. What, you just put all your jewellery on and wear your socks?
Yeah.
Earplugs.
Earplugs and socks on at the same time. Dangerous
What, earplugs
suffocation.
for... Dangerous what?
Dangerous suffocation.
I don't know what you mean. Suffocation?
It's a thing.
What
People have a fear, and I have a fear, that if you wore socks, I wouldn't ever wear socks in bed, but if I did wear socks in bed, and I had earplugs in to cancel out noise, my fear would be of suffocation.
No, I'm lost.
It's a thing.
Well, in case you suddenly take your sock off and shove it in your mouth and hold your nose. I mean, what? What do you mean suffocation? Go on.
Well, just
Let's back up. Beep, 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 beep. Right, from the beginning.
Have you ever been when one of those Securicore vans goes...
Those vehicles reversing.
No. When it's like under attack. They have it when it's under attack.
Oh, God, and what happens?
Please phone 999. This vehicle is... yeah,
It's
seriously.
under attack.
Yeah, and everyone looks round and goes,
Help.
Someone else will do it.
Help. I'm under attack.
Yeah.
Help.
Yeah.
Go on, suffocate. Why are you going to suffocate? Or what do you think you're going to
I
suffocate?
just don't like that combination. That combination of having my toes like covered and my ears unable to
Here?
Yeah, I know they don't breathe strictly.
Why don't you not wear socks then? It's going to freak you out.
I don't wear socks ever, no. But that combination...
I'm really confused now.
I wouldn't.
So you don't. Okay. So there's not.
I don't have earplugs
you don't do this,
either.
so you won't have. Oh, so you don't have a fear of suffocating
I've
because you
avoided that
don't
fear.
wear. Right. Have you ever done that to see even if it is?
Why would I risk my own life just to prove a theory? No.
Never heard of that. It's got to be a myth. That's got to be an urban myth.
I think one of my biggest urban myths, and people still argue and say it isn't an urban myth, and ironically, it's being changed. It's going to be made into either a film or a comedy sort of sitcom for TV. Is the Bristol Zoological Gardens car park attendant?
Yeah, that is
It's a total urban myth, but it's
it is an urban myth.
100%, 100%. I
bought that for years.
Yeah, that's why it's been
was
made
told
into a
recently
film
at work.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you want to just? I'll let you do a little bit of research. You can just read it out to the listeners.
No, I'm not going to do that. I was looking at something else.
All right.
I wasn't being rude. Well, kind of being rude.
So
I put in right. Do you want to tell the story for our
listeners? In a nutshell,
do it.
How I understand it is that for many, many years, so Bristol Zoological Gardens, or the zoo, they have a sort of fairly rough and ready car park outside, which is a bit of sort of wasteland, really. It's not really a car park. And then some people park on the downs. And over the years, there's been like, they shouldn't park on the downs, or it's an overspill, blah, blah, blah. The urban myth was that this guy who used to go around issuing tickets and collecting the money, the zoo thought Bristol City Council had employed him, and Bristol City Council thought it was the zoo. Yeah. And this guy had just taken it upon himself to...
Like 30 years of...
And is now a millionaire.
And he buggered off to the Bahamas.
And it's a great urban myth, and you can see it like happening. But
you kind of want it to be true as well.
Yeah. It's believable because someone comes up to you and gives you a ticket. And this is the day before automation, so you wouldn't expect. It was the day when
you came around with a little satchel and you
a
gave
big
them
roll.
Money. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
That lovely sort of cardboardy paper that you had with tickets. Do you know what I mean? You just pulled it off.
It was kind of quite rough paper, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Almost
sort of dark
like blotting paper.
Yeah, or a dark blue. So yeah, that's an urban myth.
Can we just go back to the suffocation bit? I'm really puzzling me.
Okay. Just imagine if the man in Buried. Imagine if he'd been in that position.
What, had his socks on?
Someone had nicked his bell. He was in the coffin and he had socks and earplugs in and he couldn't get to his feet.
Right. You wouldn't be able to anyway in a coffin, would you? You wouldn't be able to touch your feet.
You could take your socks off with your feet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, suffocate. I don't understand. Is it a thing? I can't find anything.
Is it not on
I
the
think
internet?
It's just your thing. No, that means it's not true.
I know it's not true.
It says disadvantages of sleeping. No, not obviously. You're not going to just suffocate. Well, someone might do. Someone probably has done from suffocating whilst wearing those two items. However, I'm saying what isn't true is the idea that if you do, you're more likely to suffocate, or the idea that you're going to suffocate because of those two things.
It's the same as jumping on a drain 3 times. Lots of people do that, don't they?
What is your fear? That you're not going to be able to breathe?
Yeah.
But for what reason?
Because of socks and earplugs.
Yeah, but you haven't got to the point of what it is. If there isn't a reason, that's just your thing. You've got a thing.
I just think it's a lethal combination.
Have you ever had to explain lethal? Why? You're not answering my question. You're like a politician. What is the fear of wearing socks and earplugs and suffocation? Or is it just one of that you've just associated with and you've never thought about it?
I haven't taken it to its natural conclusion, but that's the argument I would make. Going back to the drain, sometimes you'll jump on a drain 3 times. Lots of people.
I know people do. I don't.
Yeah.
Right. I understand that people do.
So, for example,
and I'm also saying, you can tell I really don't want to dwell on this very long, but. But I don't really, if you've just gone, that's just a thing I've thought, I'm cool. But if it's something that you've heard about, or we go, no, it's because I can't hear myself breathing, or I feel hot, and I don't know what, I'm trying to put the two things together.
I just think it's just a feeling. I think it's just a guess.
If you had your earplugs in and no socks on, would you be all right?
Yeah, because that's what I do when I'm doing meditation at night. So yeah, I'm cool with that. I just think the combination, it just worries me. And I think it's the bit about you jump on the drain 3 times and someone says, oh, don't be stupid, the world won't come to an end.
Right.
If you don't jump on the drain, and I'm going, I've jumped on the drain and we're all okay.
Right.
So it's like I haven't used the combination of earplugs and socks, and I'm right as rain.
I just can't join the dots up, but that's all right.
There's other
Maybe
people.
I'm not meant to.
No.
Please write in if there's other people going, oh my God.
It's so desperate. The only person we want to write in is someone who's as deranged as myself.
Because someone could just not sleeping completely naked, likes the feeling of having socks on.
Yeah, and then randomly goes, I'll just
listen to neighbours are noisy.
Yeah.
And then puts the old things in.
Yeah, next, coroner. Okay, we'll move on then. I thought that was more common. I thought when you I thought there was going to be forums.
When I interneted it.
Interneted it, the verb to internet.
Oh God, I get all hot because I was getting all anxious.
We're
about
normally
that.
deeper. Our garage philosophy is normally deeper, isn't it? We normally let's talk about current affairs. Let's just like what's
okay. Go on then.
all right. Here's one.
I'm totally in that mood. Come on then. You
Yeah,
brought on
bring
the
it
lack.
on.
You brought on the lack of structure. Let's be having it.
I will send this to you for the listeners. Someone did this map of the world
Right.
based on some research done recently.
Yeah.
And in that research, they listed. Oh shit! I haven't really. This is how well I haven't researched it.
So I did my "Told You So" dance in a minute, and I.
You're looking for a "Told You So" theme tune. So basically, right. Wait there. Wait on. What about that for a picture?
Yeah, that is cool.
Thank you.
That looks like a peregrine falcon.
I think it's a seagull, isn't it? I think
a seagull.
Seagull. George.
What?
George.
George what?
Oh no, that's Seagal.
Steven Seagal.
Oh, is it?
Come on.
I don't do films. Your thing the other day, I'm going to have to sit you down and you'll watch a
that
film.
great American actor, George Seagal.
It's a map of the world.
Yes.
People were asked in every country in the world to pick from groups of people they would not want as neighbours.
Okay.
Okay. They were free to give whatever answer they wanted. And when they looked at the percentage of people who basically said, I don't want someone of another race, I guess colour, living next to me, they collated those results and then coloured in the map, which I'm showing to you now, to signify the percentage of people who said they didn't want someone of another race next to them.
Okay.
And why I think this is interesting is that top of the pile was North America and Canada.
Right.
Only 0 to 5% listed people of a different race being next to them as being a problem.
Okay, right.
So that's a very positive thing.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the map of the rest of the world, so if I'm just holding this to you, the bluer it is, the lower the numbers. So Australia is 0 to 5, same as North America was.
Yeah.
Good old UK. And up there, most of the Scandi. And I sort of think, apart from maybe America and Britain, you maybe go, maybe that's more surprising. I think I would have gone, because I love Finland, I would have gone, Swindon.
What's Swindon on the map?
The Magic Roundabout. I can't say it now, but the song that Bristol Rovers sing for Swindon. No,
I've got my beeper.
It's got a word I don't like. So I always just mumble it when I'm singing. I'm hurling abuse at opposition fans, but I mumble the rude word. So North America, UK, Scandi countries and Greenland,
right,
and Australia and New Zealand. And I'm thinking, fair play, those are the countries that are 0 to 5%.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to show you this now and test your geography. So behind the UK, under the UK, what's the country in pink?
It looks like France to me.
So when they asked Le Français, 20 to 30% said that they wouldn't want to have neighbours of people of another race.
Right.
Now that was quite frightening to me. 20 to 30% would actively admit on a survey that they didn't want that. So I just thought this was a really interesting map. So that's my deeper meaning for.
It's good. It's good. I liked it. I just thought you might have an opinion on it. Well, I guess your opinion is you're quite shocked about that.
I guess that we've had a year with riots based explicitly on race, mainly in North America, and I guess the UK would probably be second in terms of the amount of protest. I mean, Black Lives Matter has gone to other countries, but not to the same degree.
Yeah.
Yet the two countries where there's been the most protests are the two that, according to this research, have the most sort of accepting responses to that survey, which I just thought was interesting. Anything tickled your fancy in the news? Because normally there might be something
tickled my fancy on Twitter earlier.
Yeah.
Talking about stats, COVID stats. And someone put, every year in the UK, roughly 100,000 people die for any reason within 28 days of a haircut. Which I enjoyed immensely. And then someone put that up and everyone just, you can imagine all the people going, oh, it's such bad taste. It's just like, it's literally what you've been told.
There's
you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's another Twitter that went slightly further than that, which also made me think, and again, got trolled to death, was the number of people dying within 28 days of the vaccine.
Yeah.
And that does
someone came up
and
say, someone in the same thread, well, just before that, there's a woman said, she said, in the UK, about 300 people per year die after falling out of bed. Should we sleep on the floor? And then 1 in 6 people who die of lung cancer don't actually smoke.
Was there numbers on the earplug socks?
No,
combination?
I'm not sure. No, they haven't got those stats in yet.
I wonder if the people falling out of bed, well, that's the correlation.
We're wearing socks and earplugs.
Struggling to get their socks off, fell out of bed. And the earplug went straight through.
Yeah, they weighted blankets as well. Yeah, some people were getting really upset and they're just saying, look, it's just how the government, it's an example of how the government are using language to, and statistics to kind of to twist things.
There's somebody I follow called Paul Embry, and he was ex-trade unionist in the fire service, fire brigade. He's quite outspoken. He's a Labour supporter, but I think from what I've read, he's just written a book called Despised that I'm going to read. And I follow him because I think I've mentioned this before.
Yeah, we've talked about him before. When he mentioned something about an MP. There's a tweet tete-a-tete with about virtue signalling. I'm sure that was him.
Yes, and I think he did some of the stuff on the Sainsbury's that we did. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
that's where that came from.
Yeah, we have brought him up before.
So I follow him for two reasons. I don't necessarily share all his views, but I want to undo my confirmation bias because I recognise I'm following some people and
who subscribe to your worldview.
Yeah, and I like being told what I like telling other people.
You like what you know, and you know what you like.
Yeah, and I had a discussion today with somebody at lunch around the environmental effects of eating meat against eating plant. Yeah. And it came from a video I saw of a university that is now doing 3D, and this blows my mind. You might be able to help.
Because food printing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So 3D printing. It's like the sorcerer's new whatever. Saucer.
Sauce?
What's good for the sorcerer is good for the gander. No, it's what is 3D printing? What? I don't get it.
What do you mean?
I see it. I see things happening and they're going, oh, we're going to create a pair of scissors from...
Yeah.
Like, what does it all mean? How do they get the paper that sharp? Okay, I don't get it.
There's part of me going, I think he's serious.
There's a degree of seriousness. I'm not totally. I expected a giggle. I didn't expect you to.
Then he got into a nervous kind of, oh my God, he's looking at me like I'm going to have to explain it's not paper.
So they're doing 3D plant-based meat substitute. And I think this went well with something we said a couple of podcasts ago.
Print a plant-based burger for your tea.
No, it isn't a burger. It's literally a joint of beef. And it has the striations of fat and muscle within it.
But it's just made out of pondweed or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was speaking to someone about
But we're back into that thing, aren't we? And I think I might have cut a lot of it out of one of the episodes. You said, I don't think vegans really want to be reminded of shredded pig flesh when they're buying their tofu or whatever.
But they obviously do. But this is...
Yeah, but it's like they're printing.
Yeah.
Because we can't comprehend that it might print the thing it's made of. So say it's made of peas, right?
Yeah. You could have a giant pea, couldn't you, really?
Yeah. Why does it have to be a fucking joint of meat? Yeah.
But to have the striations of fat in it,
I think our imaginations can stretch to imagine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That it's a replace. It doesn't have to look like the thing it's replacing. It's so weird.
But to get this, you can get a burger. Okay, it looks like a burger's a burger. It's a patty. It's just a shape.
Yeah.
But to have, and these joints.
But then to call it.
Yeah, but they're based on actual joints, different joints of beef.
Yeah, but you're saying they're putting the marbling of
the fat in muslin. Yeah.
Why? It's so weird, isn't it? We just can't move. We can't shift.
Yeah. So why I'm saying, and I've mentioned this before, that I follow people who will either undo my confirmation bias or I'll give them an opportunity to sort of have a go at me.
Yeah.
Or my thoughts. And had a discussion with someone at lunch today, and we were talking about the environmental effects. And we were talking about vegetarianism, and he said, well, the one thing is, of course, that the one thing you can say, whether you're going to do it on a moral basis or not, is you can't sort of dispute the environmental effects. And I went,
true.
Like, what? What do you mean, true?
What? You can't dispute that.
Of course you can.
Meat production is contributing to the planet's demise.
Too right, I can.
What are you saying? What are you calling bullshit on that?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
I'm just going to give one very curated example.
Okay, cool.
The guy that presented this is a guy called Sean Baker. I have a lot of respect for him. Carnivore. And he's one of my confirmation bias allies.
Yeah.
He's involved with a farm in America. And one of the things is that when you look at things that the government put out around, meat gives you cancer, doesn't, end of, it doesn't, per se. What happens is that a lot of research puts meat alongside with processed foods. It has a cover-all situation. So this guy said, I'm going to compare some plant-based agriculture with some grass-fed beef. And what he did was show in a video the two processes. And on the right, there was, 40 cattle. The farm, and I know this is the exception, and I know everyone's going to go, well, what about all the poor pigs that are shoved into pens and the calves that are force-fed for veal? But on this example, grass-fed beef, prime beef. On the right-hand side, there was a lovely big field. It had trees in it, and it had bushes all the way around. There was massive infrastructure of animals, so there was birds nesting, there was insects, there was flowers. The element of death, in terms of physical death, would be the cattle. At the end of whatever period, they would be taken away and slaughtered. But that piece of real estate was a vibrant habitat for animals. I know people are going to say,
well, there are going to be lots of,
there's loads of
like
caveats.
You've just said, that there's animal welfare, then there's going to be mass production.
Yes. Yeah, and people are going to go, 40 bulls are killed, just a minute.
and bad practice, of course.
Yes.
And then you're taking there's a lot of, as you're talking, there are a wealth of other things popping out.
And I know I'm creating a utopian dystopian.
Yeah, I want to live there,
Yeah.
So the birds and the bees.
So, perfect world carnivore against not perfect world agriculture. But the point they were saying is, and people are going to go, because they've seen that documentary on Netflix that had a load of misinformation.
There's Cowspiracy, which is about milk and food production. There's also What the Health.
And if you look at Cowspiracy, they basically look at the worst type of farming. So if I've taken the caveat of looking at of
course they do,
and,
but it's also, I think their point is it's en masse.
But that was shown in the UK, and there was outrage. That doesn't happen in the UK. There aren't farms of 100,000 cattle.
We're back into this. This is not pointing fingers at countries, or if you look at overall, there's a big problem that needs to be addressed.
No, but there was people in this country having seen Cowspiracy and then going, oh, I'm going to give up beef. And it's like there's a farmer down the road who's going, come and visit my cows in the lovely.
But like I said, there's then you get into kind of
gradations.
Micro kind of, but yes.
So this is to prove my point, and I accept you can pick any hole in the world with this. However, what this guy said was, those 40 cattle are going to die. Yes, their shit is going to create greenhouse gases, massively, massively overestimated in my view, because if you look at the changes in lockdown, it's pollution that's making the biggest problem, and cars. It isn't cattle. And I know those documentaries were really
It's not just about pooing rivers, but I see where you're going.
Yeah.
You get into deforestation as well.
Yeah. And also the point that was being made,
and all your kind of biodiversity being destroyed by deforestation.
Yes.
And all the shit going into the rivers. And when you start to pile all those things on top of each other.
But deforestation now is to create soy, not cattle. Because
it's not to graze cattle. It's to grow the crops to feed the cattle that we're eating.
But it's also growing soy for humans as well.
Yeah, but more food gets eaten by animals than it does by humans.
Totally agree.
Which is the kind of, they're looking at it going,
I'm here to tell you a story. I don't want you to pick holes in it.
No, I wouldn't dream of it.
The point I'm making.
I'm happily on my fence, thank you. We're looking over going, go on.
Grass is always greener.
Yeah.
The point I'm making, I'll get to the point,
is
that one of the things was the death of animals. And so the death of animals in the field next door, which was growing plant-based whatever, is many, many times more than the 40 cattle.
Well, just naturally dying, you mean?
No, because in the harvesting, basically the massive combine harvester comes in and so one of the pictures...
Oh, you mean kills all the birds and the bees?
No, it kills foxes and badgers and mice and everything. And in this particular position...
When you talk about ecosystem, finely balanced ecosystems. Yeah.
So then we come into a hierarchy, don't we? It's like, I don't want any animals dying, not on my watch. I'm going to be plant-based.
A couple of little tiny shrews.
Yeah.
And
that
takes not a big moo cow.
Exactly. But that takes us right back to our effective altruism, is that if I can see it's like people who go, well, I'll eat most meats, but I won't eat lambs because they're cute.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm making.
I mean, I don't eat cats or dogs.
No.
Right? That I'm aware of.
And that's a moral...
I've been to some dodgy restaurants in my time. It is.
Yeah.
I can't say I love animals that much.
No.
Because I eat the bloody things.
But the point I'm making is that if I was to say...
A cow is no different to a dog or a cat.
No.
If I had a pet one, I'd probably be, a bit more likely vegetarian. You know what I mean?
But why would people's loyalty be, well, I don't care that next door 4 foxes and 120 mice are killed.
No, you're right.
Is it somehow that they do matter less? And I think they do. I don't think people would care about a mouse dying as much as they would about the little baby lamb.
No, people put traps out for mice, don't they, all the time?
Yeah.
So, no, I think you're right. Yeah, there is.
I guess the point I was saying
if
is
we were just to take the hierarchy of animals, which,
yeah.
you know what I mean? And we had 100 people and we all asked them, we'd get a list, wouldn't we?
Yeah, pigs would be top though, wouldn't they?
They care less about.
Well, George Orwell. That's what I'm saying. They were top of the...
Don't know. Don't read. If it's a film, I'm in.
Animal Farm. They've done a film version.
There is an Animal Farm we don't want to be talking about, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, no.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That would make you go off me.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
We're back into, the idealistic world, aren't we? If people can just behave themselves and think about it and plan and be respectful of people's feelings and animals' feelings and welfare, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the point...
You can't sit here and go, it's wrong to do that, it's right to do... you can.
The point I'm trying to make is that I was giving one side of an argument and you can pick 100 holes in it and then I can pick 100 holes back. So there isn't an infinite right or wrong. No, let's try and do the best we can with
and
what
if you're going to make a documentary in 120 minutes or whatever, you can't do what I've done and sit on the fence. Merrily. You've got
and it depends who funds that documentary.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. The guy who directed it has just invested in the biggest plant processing factory in the guy who did Titanic.
Oh, James Cameron.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He directed that.
Yeah. The one he did what?
Not Cowspiracy, but the other one he did.
The Game Changers.
Yeah, The Game Changers.
Okay.
So again,
not seen it.
Okay.
But this is the one where they have all, I think you might have mentioned it because we might have been talking about what the health and you went, oh, he's just made one and it's about bodybuilders going, look, I can just put on as much muscle as, and I eat straw, is it one of those?
Yeah. And they did an interview with 3 Marines that showed they had a bigger and stronger and longer erection with plant-based foods.
Right. Okay.
It ain't science.
It's an odd one, isn't it? Because I think if you chose to give up meat and you had all the time and the energy and the understanding, you could have you're not going to sit here and dispute the fact that you couldn't have a plant-based diet and not ingest all the right amounts of things or the same amount of things if you're on, say, a paleo diet or whatever it was, or just a meat-based diet. Correct? You're not sitting here going, there's no way you can get the same amount of protein and the same amount of minerals and because you can. I'm asking a question. I'm not chucking a shit bomb over the fence.
But there are some things that you can't get from plants that I would say you need from meat.
At all? No,
at all. Yeah.
Right.
So just going back to the James Cameron thing,
mm-hmm.
he directed that documentary, Game Changers. Mm-hmm. I had clients going, basically, I'm giving up meat because did you know that?
I think I remember you talking about it. You were quite worried about it.
If someone put something out, and it was the top watched documentary on Netflix.
Yeah, well, I stopped drinking milk because of Cowspiracy, but no, largely. Yeah. But it also didn't agree with me.
Yeah.
And I watched that documentary and went, oh, that's why it doesn't agree with me because we're not meant to have it in our stomachs.
Well, you see, this is the problem. One of the arguments.
That worked for me. I'm clearly not. It's not meant to be in my stomach. I'm not sitting here going, it's not meant to be in any human stomach.
Okay, fine.
But there was a doctor going, this is pretty much made to make little cows, big cows.
Yeah.
And I went, fuck, I ain't drinking that anymore because it makes me feel sick.
Yeah.
Right?
So my argument...
I wasn't sitting there going, I'm going to stop there because it makes small cows be big cows. I didn't. It was just like those two things came together and I went, okay, that sounds pretty cool. It's not for me. I can live without it.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy it anyway.
Then one of the arguments was that this is unnatural. There's no other species that basically takes the milk of another thing.
I think it's a fair argument.
There are other species that do it. We've covered ants and aphids to name but one.
Yeah.
And there are other ones. Part of the reasons is that hippos can't create milking machines because of their lack of opposable thumbs. So, but there's things in the wild where other animals use the milk of other animals.
And there is that I wasn't sure I kind of feel really, really ignorant kind of admitting this, but I think it wasn't that long ago when I realised that in order to get milk from cows, they have to be permanently pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't occur to me. It didn't occur to me.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm in the dark about the whole...
But it makes... Of course.
Yeah.
Because they make milk to feed their young, so why wouldn't they be permanently pregnant? And that was kind of quite haunting to me.
So just go back to James Cameron. This is the point I'm making. We're watching The Game Changers, and this is the point about everything can have rights and wrongs, truth and fiction. That this one sentence can be, taken however you want it. Yeah. So James Cameron is participating in a £140 million plant-based protein company, which once fully operational will handle 160,000 tonnes of organic pea protein. Pea protein was mentioned quite a bit. Global Ingredients Company has entered into a joint partnership with Verdient Foods, owned by Oscar-winning film director James Cameron and his wife, environmental advocate and entrepreneur Susie Cameron. Somebody who's got massive financial gain to be made from people eating pea protein makes a documentary to advocate pea protein. It was an advert, and some of it was wrong. Some of it was correct, but some of it was wrong, in my opinion. But I don't see how you can have an unbiased documentary for someone who's just invested £140 million to produce something, and then he produces a documentary that advocates that that's the way forward.
As we've been ambling, we're going to chop this in half.
Yeah. It's choppable, isn't it?
I think it's choppable. We've got lots more to talk about, so I think we'll spread it over 2
that works.
episodes and give people a break from our usual format. It feels weird that we're kind of starting the year off
differently.
Yeah, throwing the rule book out.
Yeah.
Or is that how a year's going to be?
Edgy. You said it at the beginning, didn't you?
Yeah. So we'll wrap this one up and we'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah. Catch you in a minute.
See you in a bit. Bye.
Bye.